Discerning without disdaining. And today we want to talk about this line from Leonard Cohen, "We rise to play a greater part." And I'd like to begin today with a meditation visualization. So here we go with that. So settling in to the surface we're sitting on and finding a body or finding a posture that your body appreciates. And letting go. Letting go of any extra tension or energy. Allowing yourself to be in this space just as it is. And turning our attention to our breathing. Noting wherever your breathing is showing up in your body at this moment. And simply allowing your breathing to do what it does. And turning now to this piece from Leonard Cohen. From bitter searching of the heart, quickened with passion and with pain, we rise to play a greater part. Bitter searching of the heart. Quickened with passion, quickened with pain. We rise to play a greater part. Focusing on pain for a few moments. As we tune into and understand our own suffering, challenges, discomfort, taking a moment to recall a recent time when life was hard, when circumstances were challenging, you were uncomfortable, and simply being with it, allowing it to be present without any resistance. noting the emotion, anger, frustration, sadness. And noting where in your body that discomfort is showing up. And gently taking your attention there. And letting go of your own discomfort and bring to mind someone in your life you care about and their moment or moments of struggling. Remembering exactly how it is that they struggled in their lives. Allowing yourself a little space to feel their struggle. Perhaps even noting how it shows up in your body. Quickened with pain. And letting go of this experience and turning now to passion, to your own aspiration for well-being, your aspiration for well-being of yourself. Taking a moment to describe that silently to yourself. Your aspiration for your own well-being. And your aspiration for the well-being of others in your life who are close to you. Perhaps a role that you might play in enabling another's well-being. Passion, aspiration. Our own inner work that tunes us in to our hearts, doing that inner work with a certain edginess, being comfortable with the reality of what we discover in our own suffering, bringing clarity to our own passion, to our own aspirations. These are the ingredients of a path forward in life. And as we see clearly and connect with kindness, bringing discerning and accompanying, we're likely to envision a path that feels meaningful, substantive, giving ourselves the opportunity to be our whole selves. Begin my comments this morning reading the whole Leonard Cohen piece, A Villanelle for Our Time. He wrote this in 2004. From bitter searching of the heart, quickened with passion and with pain, we rise to play a greater part. This is the faith from which we start. Men shall know commonwealth again, from bitter searching of the heart. We loved the easy and the smart, but now, with keener hand and brain, we rise to play a greater part. The lesser loyalties depart, and neither race nor creed remain, from bitter searching of the heart. Not steering by the venal chart that tricked the mass for private gain, we rise to play a greater part. Reshaping narrow law and art, whose symbols are the million's stain, from bitter searching of the heart, we rise to play a greater part. This is the faith from which we start. Men shall know commonwealth again. From bitter searching of the heart, we rise to play a greater part. I love this piece because it's full of discerning and accompanying. Discerning language like, with keener hand and brain. Keener, very much a discerning word. Discerning in the sense of neither race nor creed remains. Letting go of our partiality. Not steering by the venal chart. Not succumbing to grasping for sense pleasure and grasping for accomplishment. Reshaping narrow law and art. Discerning, accompanying. Men shall know commonwealth. Commonwealth. What a great word when we apply a little discerning. Common referring to everybody. Wealth referring to well-being. Everybody's well-being. Not just my well-being, not just the well-being of people in my group who are almost inevitably, my smallest group who are almost inevitably mostly like me, but well-being for everybody. This piece describes so well what we've been talking about with discerning. How discerning is about sifting apart, about being curious about possibilities. The possibilities such as reshaping narrow law and art. Understanding. Understanding in the sense of men shall know commonwealth. Without judgment. Keener hand and brain. It includes our willingness to be tuned into, to accompany our own pain, to accompany the pain and suffering of others. When we tune in to not just our own suffering, not just the suffering and difficulty of those closest to us, but we're willing to open to the possibility, to the almost inevitable reality that everybody is suffering in some way. Everybody has difficulties. When we can connect with each other at that level, then we are truly accompanying. Then we're living our lives from the ground of kindness. We're no longer in a place of disdaining, of being dismissive and disparaging, of perhaps even falling into hatred. We're shifting into a different place. We acknowledge what's difficult. And once we acknowledge it and sit with it for a while, perhaps we can allow it to actually be present. And we can move from allowing to accepting. And from accepting to yielding to the reality. Perhaps even surrendering to that which is so much greater than ourselves. Without resisting that which is greater than ourselves, we become whole. We become part of the whole. We're connecting with everything. So this piece by Cohen has prompted me to pay attention to what rising to play a greater part is meaning for me at this time. It's not the first time in my life that I've paid attention to rising to play a greater part. I've had some pretty good moments doing that. I've also had some times when I thought I was rising to play a greater part, and I was inevitable, and I know now that I was actually doing at least as much damage as I was playing a greater part. Unintentionally. Out of ignorance. So my focus these days is on creating conditions for myself and others to see clearly and connect with kindness. Rising to play a greater part. So that's the reflection question for this morning. How might you rise to play a greater part? I'm not suggesting that any of you needs to fix the world. Just something a little bit different to rise to play a greater part today that may well evolve into something more next week and the week after that.